Being all too familiar with the classic fake versus real young master trope, the very first thing he did upon returning to the wealthy family was straight up tell his four sisters, the ones who always protected that old, young master. If you guys don't want to see me as your brother, I don't care to see you as my sisters either, in your hearts. Chen Yu is your only brother, so you might as well just treat him as your one and only little brother. If you want to keep Chen Yu around, just don't come poking or provoking me, and we're good. These words made the daughters of the Chen family instantly change their expressions. Father Chen and Liu Ru were both worried and anxious. Seeing how gloomy he was, they sighed softly. You and Dad shouldn't overthink this. Now that I've come back here with Dad, consider it as me, acknowledging everyone, but that's as far as it goes. He had no hobby of using a hot face to press against someone else's cold butt. He was the young lord of Prince City. It had always been others buttering him up. When was it ever his turn to endure things, make himself miserable just to please? Others he had taken over the body of Chen, Fan, and inherited his karma. Father, Chen and Liu Ru genuinely accepted him, so he would treat them well in return, considering them as his own biological parents. As for the others, it depended on the situation. Amidst the silence, the sound of a drawer pulling suddenly echoed. Everyone at the dining table couldn't help but look over. Chen Yu, crying, said, "Auntie, brother, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Brother, don't blame the sisters." Before he could finish, the MC cut him off. "All right, cut the crying. Are you putting on a theater act? You love acting, but I hate watching. What do you want exactly? Should I leave? Then, to give you guys back your happy family of 7. How's that?" Saying this, he made a move to stand up. "Leave." Chen Yu's face flushed red from his words, leaving him speechless. "Xiaofan, what nonsense are you talking? This is your home. How could you possibly leave?" Liu Ru hurriedly reached out and grabbed his wrist tightly, fearing he might actually leave in anger. "This is your home. You can do whatever you want here, and no one has the right to say otherwise." After saying that, she glared at her daughters. Father Chen also gave his daughters a sharp, icy glare, saying, "That's right. You are the true master of this house. Whoever finds it an eyesore can leave on their own. From now on, do whatever makes you feel comfortable. I'll see who dares to have an issue with that." Regarding the attitude of Father Chen and his wife, the MC felt quite satisfied. At least this couple knew how to distinguish right from wrong. If the two of them were also clueless and made their biological son suffer just to defend an adopted one, then his future attitude toward them would stop at a purely superficial level. Chen Yu felt embarrassed, aggrieved, and heartbroken, wishing he could just leave right away, but he didn't dare to. He was no longer the pampered little young master of the whole house. He was merely an adopted son, nothing more. Thinking of this made him feel even more heartbroken. Liu Ru looked at Chen Yu and said gently, "Xiao Yu, don't cry anymore. Haven't we already talked about this? Xiaofan is Xiaofan and you are you. There's no conflict. At all. Rest assured and stay." Chen Yu sobbed, saying, I just feel so sorry toward my brother." Just as the MC picked up a piece of food, he paused, getting a bit impatient. "Are you quite done yet? You say you feel sorry toward me? Yet I don't see any intention of you leaving the Chen family, do I? Since you're doing all this, stop putting on that pathetic face. It's truly disgusting, and I am not your brother. Just call me by my name from now on." The MC could definitely see through. What Chen Yu wanted to do wasn't it just to act pitiful and weak so everyone would feel sorry for him. These petty tricks weren't worth a dime. If he liked acting, let him act. But if he didn't know his place, then don't blame me for not showing respect to our parents. Chen Yu's expression stiffened, feeling as if someone had slapped him with a hammer in front of everyone. His face turned red and white in turns, fuming with rage inside but unable to blow up. Being hit right on the spot like that, if he continued to act aggrieved, he would only expose his own fake, pitiful act. Chen Zhang was the youngest among the 4 sisters, and also had the most hot-headed personality. Seeing this, she was about to speak up, to defend him. But the person sitting next to the eldest sister of the Chen family held her hand back, stopping her. Chen Huang looked at the MC sitting opposite them, her eyes carrying a calculating look. This little brother seemed a bit special. Chen Huang's eyes wavered slightly. Looking at him, she smiled gently and said, "Welcome home. Mom and Dad are right. This is your home. From now on, just do as you please. No need to hold back for anyone." Today was the sisters' oversight. "We thought you and Dad wouldn't be back so soon, so we went out to handle some work. Don't overthink it. We sisters are very happy that you're back home." The MC glanced at her and said nothing. Since the eldest sister had spoken, only now did Father Chen feel satisfied. He ordered the servants to keep serving the dishes. Today they had instructed the kitchen to prepare a whole table full of food with all kinds of flavors because they didn't know what kind of food he liked. Right, Xiaofan, where did you live before? And what about your previous family? How do you plan to handle things later, or... Chen Huang, while eating, suddenly seemed to recall something, casually asking a question. After asking, she keenly noticed that her father's expression was a bit strange. Her heart stirred slightly as she asked, "Dad, is there something difficult to say? We are all family. Our little brother's matters are also our business. There's no need to hide from us. I see this meal can't be enjoyed in peace. If you want to know just directly, ask me here." The MC wiped the corner of his mouth. "Since childhood, I was adopted by a Taoist priest living in a dilapidated Taoist temple. This temple is located on a desolate mountain with scarce resources. There were no pilgrims offering incense either. My master and I barely got by, just enough to survive. Therefore, I've never had a formal education. It was all taught to me by my master inside the temple. From childhood to adulthood, I rarely went down the mountain. My master passed away 3 months ago due to old age and poor health. After he died, I lived alone at the temple until Dad found me and brought me back here." Pausing for a moment, he added, "The temple is now closed down. After all, I'm no longer staying there, obviously. If one day I want to go back, I can still return there to continue living on my own." He briefly summarized his experience over the past decade or so, recounting his life in a calm tone without complaining or crying or showing any resentment. But hearing this, Liu Ru and Father Chen's hearts ached immensely, both of their eyes turning completely red. The 4 Chen sisters were also stunned, their moods complex. They didn't expect their own biological little brother, while they were completely unaware, had lived such a miserable life. Originally, he should have been the young master of the Chen family, pampered in the palms of everyone's hands. Chen Zhang couldn't help but feel regret and guilt, wondering if her attitude when he first came back was just way too harsh. In his heart, Chen Yu secretly screamed, "Crap!" Knowing the MC was deep and calculating, he was clearly doing it on purpose, intentionally, saying that just to win everyone's sympathy and guilt. By reflex, he wanted to bring up money, but as the words reached the tip of his tongue, recalling what the MC just said, he couldn't help but swallow them back down, switching to a heartbroken tone instead. "Xiaofan, now that you're back, your days ahead will only get better and better. Since you just got home and might not be used to things, just come find me. I can help you. If you're willing, I can take you around everywhere, so you can get familiar with our place." "I'm good, thanks." Liu Ru held his hand and said the exact same words as Chen Yu, her eyes showing clear, infinite heartache and guilt. "Mom, I'm fine. Living at the temple with Master was great. Though it was a bit tough, it was very peaceful. Master was also very good to me. From childhood to adulthood, I lived very happily." These words he spoke weren't fake at all. The real Chen Fan had indeed lived very happily. He still remembered Chen Fan. When telling him about the past, the pure joy in his eyes. The living conditions at the temple weren't good, but his master loved him dearly, trying his absolute best to give him the best things. Furthermore, there weren't many people at the temple, so interpersonal relationships were simple, allowing him to be free and unconstrained. When he was young and felt lonely, by himself he would run to the back mountain to play with small animals, and could play very happily without a care in the world. He said he never found it bitter. To him, the real bitterness was when his master grew old, became gravely ill, and couldn't be saved. That was his only relative, the anchor for all his emotions and spirit, and also the first time he tasted the pain of life and death. After his master passed away, he was left all alone at the Taoist temple without even a single person to talk to, completely isolated. Half a month ago, before Father Chen found him, Chen Fan went to the back mountain to gather firewood. While lighting the fire, he accidentally slipped into the ravine. There was only him on the mountain, so nobody knew, and thus he died just like that. After dying, he came to the city of the wronged, and the MC happened to return to the city of the wronged to handle some business. Meeting Chen Fan and discovering his destiny was extremely bizarre. Based on his birth, power, and facial features, he should have had a destiny of immense wealth and nobility, smooth sailing for life and longevity, a perfect destiny of fortune and longevity. Usually, this kind of destiny belonged to someone who in their past life accumulated great merit, allowing them to gain a destiny of karmic reward upon reincarnation. But now he appeared in the city of the wronged, proving he died with deep resentment, his destiny having been intentionally altered by someone. Just as the MC was leaving the city of the wronged and needed to visit the mortal realm, anyway, he made a deal with him. The MC wanted to borrow Chen Fan's identity in the mortal realm to get things done, and after arriving in the mortal realm, he would help Chen Fan investigate the secret behind his altered destiny. That was the reason why he was at the Chen house today. But the words he spoke didn't sound comforting at all. Instead, Father Chen and his wife increasingly felt this son was so thoughtful and a kind-hearted child. Hearing these words, they knew he only said that to comfort them. Such a pitiful son, who was clearly born with the destiny of a young master, yet had to suffer for nothing, for over a decade. In the future, they absolutely must make it up, double to their son. The atmosphere at the dining table, due to his speech, became a bit heavy and turned silent. The mood of each person was complex and different. The Chen family daughters didn't look for trouble anymore and ate their food in silence. Father Chen and Liu Ru focused all their attention on their son, occasionally asking how the food was, which dish he liked best, or if he wanted some soup, taking care of him, carefully and meticulously. Chen Yu, sitting on the side, couldn't hide the dejection on his face. Seeing this, Chen Zhang wanted to open her mouth to say something several times, but when she looked over at her biological brother and thought about the words he said, the words she wanted to say, were uncontrollably swallowed back down. The MC focused on enjoying the delicious food, but in the eyes of the Chen family, it took on a different appearance. Liu Ru's eyes welled up with tears, her heart aching endlessly. One look and she knew her son must have rarely eaten good food in the past. Living in a Taoist temple in a wild, remote mountain area, one could imagine how harsh the living conditions were. Just being able to eat his fill was considered good, so how could he have any chance to taste delicious food? Liu Ru secretly made up her mind that in the future, she must cook many delicious dishes for her son every day. After the meal, the children all sat in the living room, under the grand excuse of sitting together to bond with him since he just got home. He sat on the large sofa in the middle of the living room, staring with interest at the TV in front, watching intently. "Xiaofan, do you like watching TV?" Liu Ru asked. With his eyes still glued to the TV, he nodded. This TV is really interesting, way more interesting than watching plays on a stage. He hadn't been to the mortal realm in a long time and didn't expect it to change so drastically. He felt just like a country bumpkin entering the city. Liu Ru's eyes turned red again. Her poor son had grown so big, yet he had never even watched TV before. While he was engrossed, a total country bumpkin fresh to the city. Liu Ru's eyes went red with tears again. Her poor son had grown this big already, yet he hadn't even watched TV once. He was totally absorbed in it. While she was thinking, the program on the TV switched to a commercial break. Liu Ru immediately picked up the remote. "Xiaofan, let Mom help you change the channel." "Okay. The show you were just watching is over for today. Let's watch something else. There are still plenty of other good programs." The MC nodded, with an incredibly obedient look. Liu Ru casually flipped to another channel. Seeing a drama playing, she set the remote down. A moment later, everyone's expression turned awkward, especially Chen Yu's fair face, which flushed, bright red from a mix of shame, anger, and resentment. Talk about a massive coincidence. The drama on TV was actually about a male lead and a second lead, who had their identities swapped since childhood. And right at this moment, it happened to be airing the scene where the male lead is found by his family. Liu Ru was also completely stunned. She didn't expect that a casual channel flip would broadcast content on the TV that perfectly mirrored what was happening in their own house. What made it even more embarrassing was that on the TV, after the biological parents of the male lead brought their biological son back, they didn't send the adopted son away. Not only did they keep him around, but they doted on him, even more, far exceeding the affection given to their biological son, treating the adopted son like a precious treasure, while treating their biological son like common weeds. The living room instantly fell into an inexplicably awkward atmosphere. To make matters worse, the MC even added his commentary. Why doesn't this person love their own biological son, yet goes out of their way to favor the adopted one? Although it's only natural to be attached since they raised him for so long, there's still no reason to let their biological son suffer like this, right? He shook his head with a face full of disapproval. Everyone in the Chen family suspected he was taking shots at them, thinking he was throwing shade at their household. Even though they didn't send Xiao Yu away, they absolutely wouldn't favor Xiao Yu, to the point of giving Xiaofan the cold shoulder or making him suffer. They honestly couldn't bear to let the boy go. After all, they had raised him for over a decade, and the affection accumulated day after day couldn't just be discarded at the drop of a hat. But they clearly drew the line, no matter how much they loved Xiao Yu. He could never overshadow Xiaofan. Therefore, Xiaofan was probably just genuinely critiquing the show and wasn't taking shots at them. Even if it was shade, it was directed at those spoiled daughters. Father Chen and Liu Ru tried their best to comfort themselves, using self-hypnosis to dismiss the discomfort and guilt in their hearts. Initially, they actually thought about sending Xiao Yu away. Xiao Yu was almost an adult, so they could buy him a house outside and regularly give him a living allowance, continuing to support him until he graduated from college. But the daughters all vehemently opposed it, and they themselves couldn't bear it either. Thinking up to this point, Father Chen glared at his daughters with a heavy scowl. Chen Yu couldn't sit there for another second. Covering his face with a sob, he turned around and bolted upstairs. The MC watched him go blankly, asking, "What's wrong with him now?" Chen Zhang's face darkened as she forced herself to stay quiet. Liu Ru smiled awkwardly. "It's nothing, he's probably just not used to it yet." The MC knit his brows. "If he's going to live here from now on, is he going to cry and sob like this every single day? Because that would be annoying as hell." Liu Ru was choked up, feeling a bit exhausted in her heart. "Did you do that on purpose?" Chen Zhang finally couldn't hold it in anymore. The MC blinked his eyes. "On purpose about what, Chen?" Zhang looked at him, gritting her teeth. "Just now you intentionally provoked Xiaoyu. Didn't you Mom and Dad both said they won't let you suffer in the future? And will make it up to you completely. What else are you dissatisfied with? Do you have to force Xiaoyu out to be satisfied?" Now the MC finally got what was going on. With a thud, he tossed the remote he had just picked up, stood right up and coldly looked at the Chen family. "Then do you insist on forcing me away just to clear a spot for your precious little brother, to make you happy? I came back to my own home, yet I'm not even allowed to speak. When I talk, do I still have to cater to the mood of that pampered old young master?" After saying that, he turned around and walked away. The living room fell dead, silent. A moment later, Liu Ru rushed over, grabbed her youngest daughter, and gave her a furious, scolding beating Chen Zhang until she cried out, "I am warning you guys, if anyone treats Xiao Fan with this kind of attitude again, I will kick all of you out of this house." Father Chen's face also turned dead serious. "You all need to understand that Xiao Fan is your biological brother. A biological brother, born from the exact same mother. In the matter of him and Xiaoyu being swapped, he is way more innocent than Xiaoyu. You only think about how Xiaoyu will suffer if he returns. Why don't you think about how many years your biological brother has suffered, and how much hardship he had to endure?" Liu Ru didn't mind continuing to support Chen Yu in the future, but she absolutely would not let him walk all over Xiao Fan. Saying that, Liu Ru's gaze locked onto her youngest daughter, her expression extremely ugly. "You and Xiaoyu are the same age, and the two of you have had the best relationship since childhood. I can understand you protecting Xiaoyu, but the truth is, Xiao Fan didn't do a single thing wrong, nor does he owe anyone anything. I am only saying these words this one single time. In the future, whoever dares to break Xiao Fan's heart, see if I don't skin them alive." Chen Zhang's mouth twitched, feeling like her mother was directly targeting her. "Mom, rest assured we know where to draw the line." Chen Huang explained today's situation once again. "We really thought you and Xiao Fan wouldn't be home so early, which is why we agreed to go with him, to watch Xiaoyu's cello competition. If we knew everyone would be back this early, at the very least we wouldn't have gone to watch Xiaoyu's competition." Chen Jing and Chen Mo nodded. These two were twin sisters. The parents with dark expressions also went upstairs, leaving the four sisters sitting in the living room looking at each other. Eldest sister, "Do you feel like this little brother of ours seems a bit sharp?" She paused for a moment, taking a long while before coming up with a suitable word to describe this little brother who had just returned home. Especially his personality, it's pretty unique. Chen Huang recalled the events of tonight and nodded. "He's someone who refuses to take a loss, and his tongue is sharp enough to, especially since this personality of his is quite unique." Chen Huang recalled the events of tonight and nodded. "He's someone who refuses to take things lying down, with a mouth that talks to the point that, leaving people with absolutely nothing left to say. Moreover, I noticed the things he said didn't seem to be on purpose. It wasn't like he genuinely wanted to provoke anyone. He just speaks whatever is on his mind. He just doesn't know how to sugarcoat things. He's brutally honest." Then she thought of her other brother, recalling his behavior tonight, and her brows couldn't help but knit together. Xiaoyu is indeed a bit too sensitive. If he stays like this in the future, and doesn't adjust his mindset in time, the one who suffers and gets hurt will still be him. Just like what Dad said just now, even though we sisters have a deep bond with him from living together for over a decade, and our hearts naturally favor him. We can't repeatedly make our biological brother, who has been lost for over a decade, suffer just for his sake. So this mindset needs to be adjusted in time. Thinking of this, Chen Huang looked over at Chen Jiang. "The relationship between you and Xiaoyu is a bit closer, and your ages are closer too. You should talk some sense into him, so he stops overthinking." Xiao Fan returning home. Mom and Dad, no matter the reason, will naturally favor and pity Xiao Fan. That's just how things are in life. But it doesn't mean they don't love him anymore. He's still Mom and Dad's son. Chen Jiang was young and hot-headed, but that didn't mean she was brainless. She nodded, "I got it." Also, Chen Huang's face turned serious, showing the authority of the eldest sister. Your attitude toward Xiaofan must be appropriate from now on. Otherwise, don't blame me for straightening you out. After finishing her warning, Chen Huang stood up and went upstairs. Chen Jing and Chen Mo silently looked at each other, then also stood up and left. Chen Zhang was fuming with rage. What was the meaning of this? Clearly tonight's matter was done by all four sisters, so why did it end up being her fault alone? The MC didn't care at all about what the people downstairs were thinking. As soon as he returned to his room, he closed the door. This room was prepared for him by the Chen couple, arranged very thoughtfully. Whether it was the room design or furniture, they were all styles that young guys would like. The moment he stepped into the room, he immediately noticed an unusual fluctuation in the air. He lightly waved his hand, setting up a barrier around the room to prevent others from noticing the anomaly and getting suspicious. Suddenly, a woman wearing a black robe and a little demon mask appeared in the room, kneeling on one knee, Your Highness. The MC looked at her, frowning. Why are you here? After asking, a bad feeling instantly surged in his heart. Sure enough, the city lord ordered this subordinate to report that eldest sister has returned to the city of the wronged. Hasn't she always been at the 6th palace? How long has it been since she returned to the city of the wronged? Why did she return to the city of the wronged right after I came to the mortal realm? Before coming out, he even thought he might boss up in the city of the wronged for a while, flexing until eldest sister returned to the city. Who would have thought things wouldn't go his way? The moment his front foot left her back foot, had already returned. Thinking about the words she once said, a flash of guilt appeared in his eyes. Back then, eldest sister had already said that he wasn't allowed to come to the mortal realm on his own, to handle matters concerning the city of the wronged, and that he must discuss things with her before taking action. But he happened to run into Chen Fan, felt the timing was perfect, so while eldest sister wasn't around fourth, brother arranged and decided everything. With eldest sister's personality, he was afraid he was about to get chewed out. Reporting to Your Highness, the city lord returned to the city of the wronged and discovered that Your Highness went to the mortal realm without permission. She is extremely furious and ordered this subordinate to deliver a message. After speaking, she stood up and made a messaging gesture. A stream of light flickered slightly and a letter appeared in midair. Then the letter vanished and a line of text appeared, fluctuating gently in midair, before quickly dissolving into the atmosphere. Though the duration was short, he saw it very clearly. It was a line of text that actually had only 4 words. My arrival is imminent. Panic, total panic now. If this eldest sister comes to the mortal realm, it won't end well, right? The voice of the masked woman remained calm. No one can change the city lord's decision. Meaning she was telling him to stop overthinking and just hurry up and get ready. The MC fell silent. The woman quickly vanished from the room. He deflated like a popped balloon. Eldest sister is coming. How does she plan to get here? If she comes with her identity as city lord, then there's no need to worry too much, as she won't be able to stay for long. Thinking this, he felt energized again. As for getting squared, up in the future he did it all for the city of the wronged. So he hoped eldest sister would take that into account and not blame him too harshly. The next day, when the Chen family woke up and went downstairs, they saw him sitting in the living room watching TV. Their footsteps all froze, blinking their eyes, then looking over at the large clock in the living room. The whole family fell into a temporary silence. It was just past 6 a.m. Hearing the noise, the MC, who was completely engrossed in the TV, turned his head to look at the people who just came downstairs, greeting them morning. Right after greeting them, he whipped his head back to continue watching TV. That look made it seem like he didn't want to waste even a single second. Liu Ru was dazed for a moment, snapped out of it, and walked toward her son, sitting down next to him. First, she glanced at the TV. The morning news was playing. Xiaofan, you really like watching TV, huh? How about Mom has someone install a TV in your room? That way you can watch TV right in your room. Liu Ru now just wanted to satisfy her son at all costs, fulfilling his every wish. His eyes lit up, and he was about to agree when Chen Huang, walking down from upstairs, spoke up before him to stop their mother. This isn't a good idea. If you install a TV in his room, he'll get addicted and won't sleep. Then what? He's still at the age where he needs to grow. Her words also snapped Liu Ru to her senses. Looking at how addicted her son was. The TV, if a TV was installed in his room, wouldn't he stay up all night in his room watching it? That won't do, she hurriedly said. Mom didn't think this through. That definitely won't do. We can't let it affect Xiaofan's rest. Just watch it in the living room. Mom can also watch it with you. And the two of us can even discuss the content on the TV. His beautiful wish of staying up late was crushed. The two of us can even discuss the shows on TV. A beautiful wish has finally come true tonight. His beautiful wish of watching TV was crushed. He shot Chen Huang a gloomy look. This eldest sister definitely didn't like him. The brother, who suddenly appeared, couldn't even be allowed to watch TV in peace. In comparison, it seemed eldest sister from his hometown was still a bit better. Ru also noticed her son seemed a bit unhappy. In her heart, she ached for him. Kids nowadays, which one of them isn't glued to the screen? It's nothing unusual at all. Yet her son found it totally foreign. If she told anyone who would believe it, she said gently, installing it in the room actually might affect your rest. Plus, you can't just stay in there sleeping all the time. If you like watching TV, just watch it in the living room. No one else in our house really watches TV anyway, so nobody will fight you for it. The MC thought about it for a moment and understood the logic, so he nodded. Then he emphasized, so I won't have to fight for the TV. Ru couldn't help but burst out laughing, her eyes full of affection. Yes, the TV in this house is for you and you alone, to watch. Whoever tries to fight you for the channel, Mom will handle them. After saying that, she gave a meaningful glare toward her daughters who were walking down the stairs one after another. The corner of Chen Huang's mouth twitched. How long had it been since she last watched TV? How could she possibly fight her little brother for the TV? If anyone were to fight for it, it would be the fourth sister. Chen Huang looked over at the fourth sister, Chen Jiang. She instantly jumped up as if stung by a needle. Eldest sister, what are you looking at me for? Don't tell me I would actually fight him for the TV. He's not that naive, you know. That little jump of hers came right on cue. The MC was sitting in the living room, and just like the other Chen family daughters, Chen Yu and Father Chen, who had just come downstairs, all looked toward her. Everyone's gaze carried a different expression. The MC leisurely said, fight for the TV. Let's see if you even have the guts to try. Ru immediately snapped at her youngest daughter. From now on, you are not allowed to fight Xiao Fan for the TV. Understood. If I find out, I'll have your dad confiscate your books. Chen Jiang was instantly silenced by the grievance, her face full of rage as she secretly glared at the MC a few times. The MC didn't even bother to glance back at her, making her so angry that she didn't even want to eat breakfast. Normal kids at this age are usually in their senior year of high school. Next month, Xiao Yu will have to take the college entrance exam. Right now, the senior year has already passed almost half a semester. Xiao Fan, logically speaking, should be at the same level. It's just that Xiao Fan previously always lived in the Taoist temple with that Taoist priest and had never received a formal systematic education. But his age is right there staring at them. So where should he start learning going straight? Into the senior year, would he be able to keep up? School procedures are easy to handle, but deciding which grade level he should actually enter is difficult. Father Chen grew more and more worried the more he thought about it. Talking to him about going to school was good. The MC could also use this opportunity to get familiar with and understand this world. Chen Yu, sitting nearby, had a flash of pain in his eyes as he smiled and said, Dad, you can let Xiao Fan join my class. That way Xiao Fan will have someone to look after him, and I can also help Xiao Fan with his studies. The MC didn't even spare him a single glance. Father Chen was a bit tempted, but he was worried his son wouldn't be able to keep up. If he couldn't keep up, his grades would be too poor. Xiao Yu's grades, on the other hand, were great. With such a comparison, he was afraid. Furthermore, the fact that the Chen family raised the wrong son was something that couldn't be hidden. They didn't plan to hide it either. By then, everyone would know, and it would inevitably lead to comparisons between the two, which might hurt his biological son's self-esteem. What then? Chen Huang said, Dad, there's no need to worry about this. If our little brother can't keep up, we can tutor him one-on-one at home. If us sisters have time, we can also teach him. This semester is about to end anyway. Our little brother can just wait until the start of the next semester to enroll. We can use this time to give him a good crash course. I believe it won't be a big issue. Ru's eyes lit up as she clapped her hands and said happily, That's right. Why didn't I think of this method? We can hire a private tutor, and that's how we'll settle it. Among the sisters, except for the fourth sister who didn't study very well, the grades of the other three were very outstanding. Tutoring. Xiao Fan in the senior year curriculum would definitely not be an issue. With that said, he made the final decision. Let's just let Xiao Fan rest for 2 days first. After that, you three sisters will take turns, each tutoring him in one subject to quickly help Xiao Fan get familiar with the school curriculum. Chen Huang nodded. Okay. Since the eldest sister had nodded, the second and third sisters also nodded along. The MC didn't know whether he should be happy that he just escaped a disaster or feel annoyed because he was being looked down upon by others. Originally, he planned to refuse, but seeing the three sisters were determined, and Ru was also very excited. He silently swallowed his intended refusal back down. Chen Yu bit his lower lip and lowered his eyes, hiding the sense of grievance in his gaze. In the Chen family, over all these years, the matter of raising the wrong child within the high society circle wasn't some major deep secret. Father Chen and Liu Ru didn't plan to hide it from anyone. In fact, they had already calculated everything carefully. They would wait until he got halfway familiar with this circle, then invite everyone in the circle to attend a grand banquet, rightfully and legitimately restoring his identity for him, to prevent him from being mocked by others when going out to socialize in the future, due to an ambiguous identity which would make him suffer. Although he didn't like these kinds of occasions very much, he also clearly understood this was a necessary step. Otherwise, the outside world would very likely speculate that the real young master, which was him, wasn't welcomed by the family, and was even being overshadowed by the fake young master Chen Yu. Once he had adapted to the new environment, Liu Ru couldn't hold back, and dragged him to a large shopping mall to stock up on things. Since eldest sister and dad had to go to work and couldn't make it, the remaining people were all called out by mom to go shopping with him. But she intentionally left out Chen Yu and Chen Zhang. Sitting in the front passenger seat, he was fuming with jealousy, occasionally glaring through the rearview mirror. The MC didn't even bother to look at him once. Even using his toes, he knew what the guy was upset about. It was Chen Yu himself who didn't want to tag along, so did he expect the MC to go beg and plead for Chen Yu to join them. Upon arriving at the mall, Chen Zhang took over the task of parking the car. Chen Jing and Chen Mo walked alongside Liu Ru and the MC, together stepping into the mall to begin today's shopping spree. The Chen family daughters for the entire trip were basically acting as bag carriers. Liu Ru was linking arms with him, talking as they walked. Suddenly, the MC stopped in his tracks, tilting his ear to listen closely before asking his mother, "Did you guys hear some weird sound? Just now I seemed to hear a very strange noise, like something falling from high up, the sound of a heavy impact against the ground. And it wasn't the sound of a normal object hitting the floor. That sound was way too specific." Liu Ru also focused her ears to listen. "There's nothing. This is a huge shopping mall. It's bound to be super lively. If there's any sound, it's definitely just the noisy crowd." Right after she spoke, Chen Jing noticed something seemed to be going on up ahead, and faint screams could even be heard. "Looks like something happened up ahead." The MC's eyes flickered as he grabbed Liu Ru's hand. "Then let's go over there and check it out." Without waiting for the others to speak, he already pulled Liu Ru's hand, quickly walking toward the scene of the incident, leaving the sisters staring at each other blankly on the spot. "Why is he such a drama chaser?" Chen Jiang muttered. Chen Jing glared at her. "Watch your mouth. If Mom hears that, you know, you're going to get chewed out big time." Chen Jiang rolled her eyes. "We better catch up quickly and see what's going on. In case something really happened, both Mom and our little brother could easily be in danger." Chen Mo said this and immediately chased after them, and Chen Jing followed along. Chen Jiang reluctantly walked at the very back. Liu Ru was being pulled along by her son so fast that they quickly arrived where the crowd was gathering. Seeing her son dragging her into the crowd, the corner of her mouth twitched slightly. "I totally couldn't tell. Xiaofan looks so cold and uninterested, but turns out he's actually a kid who loves tea and drama." Wow. Looking at it this way, isn't he even more adorable? But when Liu Ru saw what was happening up ahead, her expression instantly changed as she let out a gasp. In sheer panic, she instinctively stood in front to block the MC's view. As if that wasn't enough, he quickly turned around and covered his eyes with her hands, not letting him see the horrific scene right in front of them. Turns out someone had jumped inside the mall, falling right into the open atrium area of the main lobby. It was a young man with his eyes tightly shut, blood oozing from the corner of his mouth, and blood from the back of his head kept flowing out, quickly staining a whole patch of ground beneath his head red. The MC originally just wanted to see what exactly was going on, so how did he end up getting blocked like this? "I'm literally from the Underworld. Just one look and I know exactly how this guy died. If it's an unjust death, won't he have to come to the city of the wronged? Man, the city of the wronged is already completely packed right now. Mom, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not scared." He pulled Liu Ru's hands down and spoke calmly. Liu Ru gave him a stern look. "How are you not a kid? You haven't even had your 18th birthday yet." "What an absolute slip-up. I'm literally a 1,000-year-old specter, but right now I've become a teenager who's not even 18. Chen Huang managed to catch up, and seeing this, she also instinctively stood in front to block his view. The MC completely surrendered, totally gave up. The mall security immediately came to handle it, while also calling the police and an ambulance, dispersing the surrounding crowd. Liu Ru wouldn't let her son watch this kind of tragedy anymore, dragging him away forcefully. Ultimately, because of this incident, everyone's mood was ruined. Liu Ru saw that they had bought enough stuff, so she figured they should just head home first and come back another day. Having such a thing happen at the mall was indeed a bit unlucky. Mom, you guys go to the car and wait for me first. I need to use the restroom. Liu Ru wanted to go with him but was firmly rejected by him. I'm really not a 3-year-old child who needs a parent to tag along just to use the bathroom. He followed the signs and very quickly found the restroom, walking right inside. While he was washing his hands, a young man stepped into the restroom. Seeing the MC standing in front of the sink, he seemed to startle for a brief second, then lowered his head and hurriedly went into a stall. The MC's eyes locked onto that stall, his nostrils flaring slightly as he took a light sniff. He smelled the scent of death. He intentionally loitered there. The guy inside the stall also took a sweet time before finally opening the door to step out. The guy walked out, and seeing the MC still standing in front of the sink, he froze for a brief moment, seemingly not expecting that he hadn't left yet. The MC leisurely waited for him to walk over to another sink, taking another sniff. Confirmed. It was indeed from this guy that he smelled the scent of death. The smell was very faint. He couldn't help but glance at him. "What are you looking at? Never seen a handsome guy before." The guy instantly noticed his gaze. As if he had been triggered by someone, he immediately snapped, washed his hands carelessly a few times, and didn't even bother to dry them before rushing out. This retreating figure looked completely panicked and uneasy no matter how you sliced it. If a person is about to die, their body will carry the aura of death, but that kind of death energy would be quite heavy. The man just now was clearly not in this situation. So there were only two possibilities left. Either he got it rubbed off from someone else, or he had just committed murder. The former case was too broad to say for sure, but the latter case was much more straightforward. He couldn't help but think about the incident in the mall, just now, that young man who had just fallen from upstairs. He calmly wiped his hands dry, and only then did he leisurely walk out. Liu Ru had waited to the point where she was about to lose her patience and go inside to look for him. It was honestly because they had just encountered that kind of situation, which left her with a constant sense of unease in her heart, fearing that something might go wrong with this son who had just returned to her side. Only when they finally got back home did Liu Ru's anxious heart truly settle down. She quickly put the mall incident to the back of her mind, busying herself up and down to unpack and organize the items they had just bought at the mall. As for the MC, the moment he got home, he sat straight down on the sofa, turning on the TV, looking exactly like a hardcore TV addict. Chen Mo and Chen Jing went back to their rooms to get busy with their schoolwork. Both sisters belonged to the absolute genius demographic. Tomorrow they'd be entering their senior year of college, so their studies were getting much busier. Chen Zhang, having the most free time, sat down on the living room sofa. Seeing that the matriarch was busy upstairs, he instantly felt his mouth itch and couldn't help but mock. "You absolute country bumpkin. What's so good about watching TV? Seriously, a total peasant who hasn't seen the world." The MC's eyes remained glued to the TV, and hearing his words, he nodded, and calmly hearing his words, he gave a calm nod. Admitted, "I've lived in a temple since I was a kid, obviously. Temple deep in the mountains, so it's only natural that I haven't seen the world. I am the young city lord of the city of the wronged. Ever since eldest sister dumped the affairs of the city of the wronged on me, I've been snowed under with work. Honestly, I really didn't have much time to care about the mortal realm, so I only knew things on a surface level. But now that I've taken over Chen Fan's identity, shouldn't I seize the time to understand and get familiar with this world?" The MC found watching TV to be the absolute fastest way. Without even stepping out the door, one could know everything happening outside. How convenient is that, Chen? Zhang was tongue-tied for a moment. "You did that on purpose, didn't you? Purposefully? Bringing these things up to make us feel guilty, wanting to make us feel bad for you? So your position in this house becomes even more secure." Chen Zhang wouldn't stop rambling. The MC spared him a glance, looking at him like he was an absolute idiot. Spotting someone coming down from upstairs out of the corner of his eye, without any psychological burden, the MC snitched. "Mom, brother Zhang is mocking me again. He called me a country bumpkin. He claims I'm purposefully trying to make everyone feel guilty, so everyone will feel bad for me. He finds me such an eyesore. Is he perhaps trying to force me to leave this house?" Chen Zhang's eyes widened so wide he almost coughed up blood. Before he could even react, his ear was already being forcefully yanked upward. "Mom, calm down." "Calm down a bit, Mom. Don't listen to his nonsense. I didn't." Chen Zhang bared his teeth in pain, glaring while still not forgetting to defend himself. The MC pointed a finger at him, and on his upset face, perfect touch of grievance surfaced right on cue. He was the one who said it. He called me a country bumpkin who hasn't even seen a TV before. I already said I lived in a temple deep in the mountains, so it's normal that I haven't seen the world. But then he mocked me. Chen Zhang wanted to strike back, but these words were indeed exactly what he said. but I didn't mean it that way at all. This boy is asking for a beating. Just wait until Mom comes over to teach you. A lesson ruining your little brother's TV time. Liu Ru didn't soften her heart at all forcefully, pinching his ear and dragging him straight to the side, determined to discipline this child properly. She couldn't understand what was wrong with this boy either. He clearly loved and pampered Xiao Yu to bits. So why is it that the moment Xiao Fan came back, he found Xiao Fan annoying no matter where he looked? Clearly Xiao Fan is his biological brother, a relative of the same bloodline. Seriously, so tactless. Seems like he hasn't been disciplined enough. With a sideways glance, Chen Jiang was wailing miserably without receiving a shred of sympathy. The MC even flashed him a smug look which made Chen Jiang so angry he almost disconnected from life right on the spot. The MC discovered that out of these 4 Chen family siblings, only this Chen Jiang had the worst brain, always being so clueless, somehow. His attention turned back to the screen, staring intently at the TV without looking away, as if waiting for something. Sure enough, the local TV station quickly broadcasted a report about the incident at the mall at around 11 a.m. today. At the Four Seasons shopping mall downtown, a falling incident occurred. A 25-year-old man fell from the rooftop of the shopping mall and subsequently passed away after emergency treatment failed. The specific cause of the fall is currently still under investigation. He's dead. The MC couldn't help but think back to the man he met in the restroom, who was also quite young and had a panicked expression. Most importantly, he was carrying the scent of death on him. Could he be connected to the guy who fell from the building? Was that falling guy an accident or a suicide? He really wanted to go check out that falling guy right away, to see whether his lifespan had naturally ended, or if he died with deep grievances. But since he had just returned and wasn't familiar with this place, wanting to go out alone, was afraid not going to be that easy. Thinking up to this point, he could only drop the idea. After watching the news, he calmly stood up, walked over to the other side, and acted nice to persuade her mom don't scold him anymore. What he said actually wasn't wrong either. Before the words were even finished, Chen Jiang collapsed with a belly full of resentment. He didn't need his fake kindness. This time was great. The anger of Liu Ru, which had originally died down a bit, flared up violently again. Xiaofan, don't worry about him. He's got thick skin and plenty of fat. Even if Mom breaks this feather, duster on him, he'll be fine. Mom has some bird's nest soup stewing for you in the kitchen. Go check if it's ready yet. Liu Ru tactfully sent him away. He cast Chen Jiang a sympathetic look, then turned into the kitchen to look for food. Chen Jiang felt the MC was clearly gloating, staring fiercely at his back, which was caught red-handed by Liu Ru on the spot. Chen Jiang, today Mom is definitely going to break this feather duster. The MC was still pondering what method to use to find that guy from the restroom that day, the one he had crossed paths with. But unexpectedly, the opportunity knocked on his door. The Chen family was about to host a banquet. The entire high society of High City, any family with a reputation, received an invitation. On the day of the banquet, the Chen family villa was unusually bustling. Everywhere you looked, there were people dressed in splendid attire, women with exquisite makeup and gentlemen in sharp suits, standing around in groups of 3 or 5. The MC remained upstairs the whole time. Liu Ru was too busy to pull herself away, planning to come upstairs only when it was time to lead him down and officially introduce him to everyone. He had already finished changing his clothes. Seeing that the time was almost up, he stepped out of his room. When passing by Chen Yu's room, his footsteps couldn't help but freeze. It wasn't that he intentionally eavesdropped, but the person in the room was probably standing and watching the excitement downstairs. The noise was loud, and the voice inside was consequently not very quiet either. In addition, he wasn't an ordinary person, so with just a little listen he could distinguish that the person talking to Chen Yu was the wife of the eldest uncle, meaning his aunt, on his nominal side. Due to Ren Thandiem's reason, the Chen family members from the capital had also arrived, including the eldest uncle's family, the heirs to the ancestral family business, and the bulk of the assets, along with old Madame Chen as well. But he saw their sincerity only amounted to this much. The banquet was hosted today, yet they only arrived last night. Only old Madame Chen stayed at the Chen house, while the eldest uncle's family stayed straight at a hotel in the city. He rested his chin in thought. This Chen Yu and the eldest uncle's family seemed to have a very good relationship. This eldest aunt, from beginning to end, though but always as a substitute teacher, with a pitifully low salary of only a few hundred yuan a month, only gave him a careless glance, saying just a few polite words. Just as he thought of this, he heard footsteps coming from inside the room. He hurriedly retreated back into his own room, waiting for the two of them to leave and head downstairs, before he stepped out once more. Liu Ru also came upstairs to look for him. Seeing that he was already dressed and ready, she smiled, her eyes full of motherly affection. "Xiaofan, you look so handsome tonight." These words weren't wrong, perhaps because he had lived in a Taoist temple since childhood. Unbothered by worldly matters, he had developed an aura that was completely pure and detached as it was right now. The more she looked, the more she liked and pitied him. She made a firm resolution in her heart that in the future she would do everything in her power to protect him, so he could always maintain this pure state, allowing him to live a happy life forever. "The time is almost up. Let Mom lead you downstairs, okay?" After a few steps, the MC pretended to casually ask, "Mom, don't we need to call Brother Chen you to join us?" "No need. Tonight's banquet is held specifically for you. He's with his eldest aunt right now, so it's fine. If we call Xiao Yu along, he might overthink things again. That boy has been so sensitive lately, leaving us not knowing what's best to do. Eldest aunt seems to really dote on him." According to what he had gathered, his nominal father's relationship with his own biological brother seemed to be just average. Otherwise, back then, after the division of family assets, he wouldn't have directly come to High City to start anew. Although they said they returned to the capital every year for a reunion, that was also just out of respect for old Madame Chen. So why did the eldest aunt dote on Chen Yu so much? Liu Ru, however, didn't find it strange at all, explaining, "You also know your dad's situation. He has an older brother and an older sister. Your eldest uncle and eldest aunt don't have a son. Your aunt indeed has a son, but he doesn't carry the Chen family name after all, only our household managed to give birth to a son." Therefore, in Liu Ru's tone, a hint of guilt crept in again. The one who should have enjoyed all this pampering and affection should have been Xiao Fan. This boy is the real young master who should have been treasured by the Chen family. As a result, whenever she thought about these things, Liu Ru would feel another wave of heartache and sadness. The MC knit his brows. So that was why. He had been back with the Chen family for half a month, and tonight counted as his first official appearance. Liu Ru and Father Chen stood on his left and right sides, linking arms with his parents. He slowly walked down from upstairs. That appearance and aura instantly captured the gaze of everyone present. There wasn't a single shred of timidness or a shy look on him. The aura oozing out was clearly that of a young master, a noble heir raised with boundless care since childhood. Seeing him come down, Chen Yu couldn't help but feel his heart tighten, his eyes staring intently at him. In his heart, it was hard to hide his disappointment and a bit of jealousy. "Xiao Yu, don't panic. He's just putting on an act. Putting on airs is something anyone can do. You are the real young master of the Chen family. Don't forget you've lived in the Chen family for over a decade, even if he is the biological son. So what? Affection needs to be nurtured over time." Zhong Huilan noticed the shift in Chen Yu's emotions, so she lightly patted the back of his hand to calm him down, speaking softly. Chen Yu forced out a smile. "Eldest aunt? I'm fine. Actually, I feel quite happy. Mom and Dad found their biological son, so this is a good thing. Having enjoyed life in the Chen family for so many years, honestly speaking, I'm the one who owes a debt to Xiaofan." Zhong Huilan gave him a look and scolded softly. "What does it have to do with you? Back then, weren't you just an innocent newborn infant who knew nothing? It was because his parents didn't look after their own child properly that such a thing happened. If anyone is to be blamed, it can't be blamed on your head. All right, don't overthink it anymore. I know your parents' personalities well. They've raised you for so many years. So even if their biological son returns, they won't stop loving you. You need to straighten out your mindset. Don't look down on yourself like that. In short, remember clearly that you did nothing wrong, and you owe absolutely nothing to anyone. Understood?" Chen Yu bit his lip and nodded slightly, not saying too many annoying words. His parents indeed wouldn't stop loving him, but it also couldn't be compared to how it was before anymore. Previously in this house, and even in the entire Chen family, whether in High City or in the capital, he was the only young master of the whole family. The entire household pampered him, granted his every request, and he was the center of their eyes and hearts. But what about now? He could clearly feel the difference. Ever since Chen Fan returned, he was no longer in his parents' eyes. Even among his sisters, only the fourth sister was still fiercely protecting him. Thinking up to this point, Chen Yu felt so aggrieved. Originally, everything belonged to him, but now he had to share more than half of it. Who could possibly bear that? While he was spacing out, Father Chen and Liu Ru had solemnly introduced the MC to everyone, not hiding the couple's high regard, affection, and nurturing attitude at all. Even the 4 Chen family sisters were standing right next to them. This scene carried a different meaning in everyone's eyes. "Young Master Yu, this Chen family is getting way too out of line. The whole family is loving each other like that. So why did they leave you out?" Zhong Huilan went off to socialize. The circle of friends who were usually close to Chen Yu came over to surround him full of indignation. Don't talk nonsense. Tonight was originally meant to be Xiaofan's stage. This banquet was hosted for him, so he deserves to be the main character. Why should I squeeze myself up there? It wasn't that Father Chen and Liu Ru intentionally left Chen Yu out. Before this, Liu Ru had also suggested that Chen Yu join them, but Chen Yu had rejected her. He insisted that Chen Fan was the real young master of the Chen family. And since this banquet was specifically hosted for Chen Fan, then he shouldn't stand on that side speaking in an incredibly understanding and reasonable manner. Liu Ru thought about it for a bit and felt that letting him stand to the side might not necessarily be a bad thing for him, because doing so would create a direct comparison, which conversely would be even worse for him. So she dropped it. But even though she dropped it, Chen Yu still felt aggrieved. This time, although he spoke like that in his tone, he still couldn't hide his disappointment. This made his friends feel even more indignant for him. Young master, you, even though they say Chen Fan is the biological son, you've been with the Chen family for so many years, there's no way. The moment he comes back, they can just cast you aside. Raising one more son makes absolutely no difference. Strictly speaking, he's the one who came later. How can we use who came first or later to judge this? He is Mom and Dad's real son. He suffered so much hardship in that mountain temple, while I enjoyed so much luxury in the Chen family. It's only natural that he has resentment in his heart, and I can totally understand it. I won't hold it against him, Chen Yu said generously. The group of close friends around him curled their lips, the disdain and contempt in their eyes completely unconcealed. A guy who grew up in a mountain temple and hasn't even seen a TV before. It's really hard to imagine there are still such hillbillies these days. Between young Master Yu and this peasant, anyone with a brain would know who to choose, right? Young Master Yu is a refined gentleman molded by the Chen family's massive wealth, completely unlike that peasant. Could Uncle Chen and Aunt Liu really be that muddle-headed? They'll regret it sooner or later. Just wait and see this peasant embarrass the Chen family and make them the laughingstock of high society. Young Master Yu, you shouldn't be too kind-hearted like this. The more you act like this, the more they will push you around. You have to fight for what's yours. Chen Yu nodded. I know. Don't worry, everyone. No one can bully me. Fourth sister is still treating me just like before. These words, which seemed meant to reassure, were actually instigating. By only saying that fourth sister treated him just like before, wasn't that implying the other three sisters were no longer the same toward him? Just because they have a biological brother now, they don't want their adopted brother anymore. Chen Yu stopped while he was ahead. He didn't actually want to do anything. It was just that seeing Chen Fan earlier made him suddenly worry that he would quickly blend into this circle and steal all his spotlight. Therefore, he thought about putting some ideas into his friends' heads first. Word of mouth spreads fast. Even if it couldn't really stop anything, it would at least have some effect, right? While they were talking, they saw tonight's main character, the MC, walking over toward this side. Their expressions changed slightly, but they quickly composed themselves, reassuring themselves that he didn't know what they had just said. What was there to be afraid or guilty about Chen Yu was also a bit guilty, though he didn't notice that one of his close friends beside him, after seeing the MC, had a dramatic shift in expression. He quickly cast his eyes down, his hands unconsciously interlacing, before quickly letting go, pretending to be natural and calm. Xiao, Fan, you look very handsome tonight. Chen Yu smiled and nodded at him. Being handsome himself, wasn't that a given? Fact. Speaking of which, it was quite a coincidence that his own original appearance actually looked a bit similar to Chen Yu. Back when he was in the City of the Wronged and saw Chen Yu, he was also a bit surprised that this newcomer's face resembled his by a few fractions. Later, he thought this was probably fate. With such a calm posture, he nodded in acknowledgement, his gaze landing on the person standing next to Chen Yu. This is... Chen Yu was slightly startled then, looked at his close friend before introducing him. This is my good friend Qida. He's the young master of the Qi family. Chen Yu and Qida had known each other the longest. The two had been friends since elementary school, and had stuck together all the way until now. Oh, so it's young Master Qi. He dragged out his final tone full of meaning. Chen Yu looked at the two of them back and forth, then asked, Xiaofan, do you know Qida? Before the MC could even answer, Qida hurriedly opened his mouth to deny it. No, we don't know each other. But precisely because he was too hurried, it made things look incredibly suspicious instead. The MC smiled even more meaningfully. That's right, we don't know each other. It's just that a few days ago at the shopping mall, we crossed paths in the restroom, young master. Kid, before he could even finish his sentence, Qida hurriedly interrupted him. Young Master Yu, I suddenly remembered I have some business to handle. I'll take my leave first. Let's catch up another day. After saying that without waiting for Chen Yu's reply, he turned and bolted. That retreating figure looked exactly like someone fleeing for his life. The MC originally intended to come over and test the waters a bit, but he didn't expect this day guy to be so incapable of keeping his composure. Didn't this clearly tell him that there was a problem? If there was nothing wrong, why on earth was he panicking? Thinking this, he couldn't help but lock his gaze onto Chen Yu. Being stared at by him, Chen Yu's entire body stiffened. He suddenly felt a bit tense in his heart, stammering, "What's wrong?" The MC spoke slowly, as if intentionally keeping Chen Yu's heart dangling in suspense. "Xiaofan, about that. If Qi has ever offended you, please don't hold it against him. He definitely didn't do it on purpose. He's a very good person." The MC smiled. "It's fine, since he's your good friend. Then invite him to our house as a guest another day." Chen Yu froze for a moment, opening his mouth to say something. But the MC didn't give him the chance. "I think the day after tomorrow is good. You invite him over as a guest, and I'll have the kitchen prepare some desserts to entertain him. The day after tomorrow, the people from the main branch will also be coming into town. I'm not negotiating. I'm informing you." After saying that, he walked straight away, basically not giving Chen Yu any chance to object, leaving Chen Yu and his few friends staring at each other blankly, their heads full of question marks. His targeting of Qida wasn't without reason. Besides, the fact that he smelled the scent of death on his body that day. Later on, the news also broadcasted a report claiming that the male student who jumped at the mall that day was an accident. If it really were an accident, it wouldn't be a big deal. But the issue was that he had sensed a lingering grievance, a grudge coming from that male student who fell, even though he was currently laying low in the mortal realm as a new member of the afterlife management. He could still distinguish whether someone actually died from an accident or foul play. These two are completely different, of course. In this mortal world, the number of people who die normally versus abnormally every single day is countless. It wasn't like he could sense the grievance of every single dead person. This also required triggering a certain kind of karmic alignment to happen. He figured it was roughly because he happened to be present at the shopping mall that day and had also approached the deceased at an extremely close range, which allowed him to resonate with his grievance. The city of the wronged. The city of the wronged is precisely where those who died unjustly reside. Those who die normal deaths will enter the underworld through the regular procedures. The underworld then, based on this person's past life, judges where they should go next. The vast majority of people go on to reincarnate, while a small minority, thanks to their merits, ascend to heaven. In addition, another portion will be sent to the city of the wronged, until their originally destined lifespan comes to an end. If they were a victim of foul play, then they must wait until their deep grievances and blood feuds are completely dissipated, even waiting until the culprit is brought to justice before they can continue their cycle of reincarnation. But currently, the city of the wronged is facing overcrowding. Souls that originally should have entered samsara are completely unable to leave. The city of the wronged can only let them pile up, day after day, year after year. The number of people arriving at the city of the wronged remains massive, while the number of people leaving to reincarnate gets smaller and smaller. If this continues, the city of the wronged will cease to exist, and tens of thousands of souls within the city of the wronged will consequently have their souls scattered and destroyed, vanishing by the banks of the Nahe Bridge. The root cause lies in the rebirth gate of the city of the wronged, which for some unknown reason has been shut tight. With the rebirth gate closed and unable to open, the ghosts in the city of the wronged naturally cannot leave. After this problem arose, he and eldest sister had tossed and turned for a long time, trying every possible way but failing to resolve it. Later, thanks to a hint from Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, he and eldest sister suddenly came to a realization. Only then did the matter of him coming to this mortal realm happen. His main purpose in coming here is to harvest mortal merits and the power of faith, aiming to restart the rebirth gate of the city of the wronged, allowing the city of the wronged to function normally again. Now that the opportunity has knocked on his door, he absolutely cannot push it away. Chen Yu thought about it over and over, but still couldn't understand what exactly the MC wanted to do. After the banquet, he brought this matter up with Liu Ru. Originally, he wanted to test her, expecting to be dismissed given her current doting attitude toward the MC. He thought he'd be rejected, but unexpectedly she happily agreed to it. Then again, since he couldn't easily go out, when he ran into Chen Zhang by chance, a thought flashed in his mind. After greeting Chen Zhang as usual, he showed a hesitant expression, stopping himself right as he was about to speak. Clearly, anyone with eyes could see that he had something on his mind. Needless to say, Chen Zhang genuinely cared about him. Originally, Chen Zhang intended to avoid the topic, but he felt a little guilty regarding tonight's matter. He felt that Xiao Yu had indeed suffered a grievance, but he had no way around it either. Xiao Yu grew up with him, and had been pampered by the siblings for over a decade. That was a fact. But Xiao Fan was also his younger brother. The palm of the hand, or the back of the hand, both are flesh. If they were to let Xiao Fan suffer a disadvantage, just so Xiao Yu wouldn't feel aggrieved, that was definitely out of the question. If he dared to do that, Mom and Dad would kick him out of the house immediately, so for a moment he didn't know how to face it, not knowing how he should comfort Xiao Yu properly. But seeing his conflicted expression, as if he wanted to say something but seemed wary and didn't dare to speak, he still felt a pang of sympathy. Xiao Yu, do you have something you want to say to fourth sister Chen Yu? Bit his lip and hesitated for a moment. Fourth sister? I don't know if Chi Da accidentally offended Xiao Fan, which is why he made him unhappy. If that's really the case, then I'm willing to apologize on Chi Da's behalf. But Xiao Fan, he asked me to invite Chi Da to the house, fourth sister. Do you think Xiao Fan wants to find Chi Da to cause trouble? For him? He smiled, his voice full of caution. Hearing this, Chen Zhang frowned. He obviously also felt that his younger brother's action was very strange. Thinking for a bit, he said, it's fine, since I'm free anyway, I'll be at home at that time. I won't let him do that. Chen Yu fell silent for a moment. Fourth sister, could we just drop it? Xiao Fan is also my younger brother, and Chi Da is my best friend. I really don't hope for any conflict to happen between the two of them. Chen Zhang scratched his head. Xiao Yu, what's the current situation in our house right now? Don't tell me you don't know. He wants to invite your friend to the house as a guest, so Mom and Dad will definitely agree. Not only will they agree, they'll be very happy too. Therefore, we simply can't find a reason to reject it. If I were to say no, I'd definitely get chewed out by Mom again. Seeing Chen Yu's disappointed face, Chen Zhang patted his chest and guaranteed, don't you worry. When the time comes, I'll keep an eye on him. I absolutely won't let him bully anyone. Since the words had reached this point, Chen Yu had no other choice either. The reason he wanted to prevent this matter had another underlying cause. In his heart, there was an indescribable sense of unease. He usually trusted his intuition very much, but since he couldn't stop it, he could only think of other ways. All in all, tonight's family recognition banquet was still quite a success. The old lady of the Chen family, though not showing much warmth or joy, didn't go so far as to be completely muddle-headed as to do something inappropriate on this occasion and make them a laughingstock. The night passed peacefully without any incidents, and the guests left satisfied. Since he returned to the Chen family, he had always enjoyed total freedom, no matter which angle you looked at it from. Liu Ru and father, Chen had never told him he had to do this or that, only telling him that as long as he was home, he should just make himself comfortable. He slept until he naturally woke up every single day. After all, waking up early left him with nothing to do anyway, plus the fact that he now stayed up late every single night, surfing the internet to get familiar with and understand this world sleeping in. A bit later was completely understandable. Could it be that in the Chen family, no one would say anything about him? But he forgot that currently the Chen family had a few extra people, and moreover, they seemed to be people who didn't like him very much. Early in the morning, the moment he came downstairs, he was called out by someone. The elders are all awake already, yet you're living the good life, sleeping in so late. The old lady saw him come downstairs, her eyes darting back and forth, as she threw a sideways glance at him, speaking with great dissatisfaction. Just look at our Xiao Yu. He got up early to help prepare breakfast. On this point, you should learn a bit from Xiao Yu. You need to show some filial piety toward your elders. Hearing these words, Liu Ru instantly became unhappy. To elders. Hearing this, Liu Ru immediately became upset. Mom, there's nothing for these kids to do at home anyway. If they want to sleep in, just let them sleep. Besides, it's not even late yet. Fourth sister hasn't woken up either. Moreover, whether someone has filial piety or not isn't decided by waking up early or late. Liu Ru instinctively shielded her son, but she didn't know that her protection and the words she just spoke deeply hurt Chen Yu's feelings. Wasn't that implying he intentionally got up early to make breakfast just to please everyone? The MC sat down at the dining table with a nonchalant face, staring directly at Chen Yu's face before suddenly blurting out, I've been back for a while now, but it seems I haven't eaten a single breakfast prepared by you. Or is it because you made too little, and everyone ate it all, leaving no portion for me? I see you waking up later than me every day. Turns out you secretly get up early to make breakfast first, and then go back to sleep afterward. Chen Yu's face turned completely red. Ever since the MC returned, he had felt highly uncomfortable in his heart, constantly trying to avoid him whenever the MC appeared, so he usually woke up very late. It just so happened to be during the school break, so aside from coming downstairs for the 3 meals, he spent the rest of his time basically inside his room. As for breakfast, the house already had maids. He was the young master of the Chen family, so how could he frequently step into the kitchen seeing Grandma Praise you like that, then surely the breakfast you make must be delicious. Tomorrow I want to try it. The MC smiled and spoke, although he didn't directly demand Chen Yu to make breakfast for him. The meaning behind his words was crystal clear. Oh, madame, Chen became even more displeased. There are maids in the house. What do you want Xiao Yu to do? The MC looked at her with a puzzled expression. Isn't this the truth? Ever since I came back, he keeps claiming he's my older brother. An older brother cooking breakfast for his younger brother? What's wrong with that? Besides, I also want him to show filial piety to Grandma, which is why I suggested this. Everyone at the table except for Liu Ru had a face that looked like they were listening to total nonsense. The MC's expression was incredibly serious. This cooking skill has to be practiced. Without practice, how can one get good at it? Preparing breakfast for Grandma. If his skill isn't good and a mistake happens, then what? Grandma is already at this advanced age, her body can't handle any physical toll. Saying this, he let out another sigh, his face full of selflessness. I'm different. I'm still young and I've tasted so much hardship before. I'm used to it, so just let me be the lab rat for him to practice his skills. This time, even the fond look Liu Ru had for her son completely shattered. Such shameless words. How on earth could Xiao Fan say them with such a straight face? Chen Yu was so triggered by his words he almost burst into tears. Zhong Huilan knit her brows tightly. This child's temper is way too aggressive. Grandma merely said one thing to you, yet you argued back with 10, not even caring if you'd make Grandma angry. Moreover, Xiao Yu originally had good intentions, but after your twisting words, it turned into something else entirely. She looked at him with a disapproving expression. I know you have resentment in your heart, feeling like Xiao Yu has enjoyed luxury for so many years in the Chen family, taking away what belonged to you. But back then, Xiao Yu was also just a newborn infant. What could he possibly know? He's just as innocent as you are. Why do you have to target him? Xiao Yu has a gentle personality. If he says he treats you as a younger brother, then he definitely means it. Why don't you just treat it as having one more older brother to dote on you? Isn't that great? Why must you? She shook her head, her face full of disappointment. Liu Ru's heart was bursting with rage. She tried her best to endure it without blowing up, but her face had clearly turned ugly. Sister-in-law, you've misunderstood. Xiao Fan isn't targeting anyone at all. This boy just has a personality that is way too blunt. He doesn't know how to beat around the bush. Actually, there's no malice in his heart. Exactly how could I have any malice? I'm not targeting him either. My attitude toward him is way better than my attitude toward fourth sister. If you don't believe me, just ask her. I precisely know that he's innocent too, which is why I didn't let Mom and Dad kick him out, letting him continue to stay in the Chen family as a pampered young master. Isn't this enough, I feel? Like my kindness is enough to make myself cry here. I've never seen anyone as generous and magnanimous as me. The look on his face was indeed incredibly innocent. I've already gone this far, yet Aunt still feels like I'm bullying him. Or perhaps Aunt wants me to just yield this entire identity to him, yielding even my biological parents to him too. He intentionally emphasized the words, biological parents. Zhong Huilan was choked to the point of speechlessness. What else could she say? Perhaps because his expression was way too genuine, it left Zhong Huilan completely unable to grasp whether his words were intentional or unintentional. Old Madame Chen was also choked hard. She instinctively tried to use her status as an elder to suppress him, but the MC didn't give her a chance to speak. Grandma, are you also worried I'll bully Xiao Yu? I heard Mom and Dad say everyone dotes on him very much. How about this in this future? Let him just live with Grandma. After all, he's no longer a child who needs constant supervision. If he stays with Grandma, he can show even more filial piety to you, cooking breakfast for you every day. The MC pretended to be cute, tilting his head. That way he can both show filial piety to you and won't have to worry about being bullied by me. Right, it's literally killing two birds with one stone. The entire dining table instantly fell dead silent. Old Madame Chen and Zhong Huilan stared at him with wide eyes, while Liu Ru looked like she didn't know what kind of expression she should put on. As for Chen Yu, he was naturally terrified. Xiao Fan, please stop talking. Grandma and Aunt didn't mean it that way. Everyone is just too worried about me. But I haven't suffered any grievances at all. Mom, Dad, and my sisters still treat me just as well as before. Of course, you aren't bullying me either. Please don't take Grandma and Aunt's words to heart. If he were to move in with Grandma, what would that make him? Wouldn't his identity become even more awkward? He wanted to be the son of this entire household, to remain so for his entire life. His eyes carried a look of pleading as he looked at her. Wouldn't that make things even more awkward? He is the son of this entire family, and he will be for the rest of his life. Her eyes held a pleading look as she stared at her. Old Madam Chen and Zhong Huilan. Those two genuinely dote boy on him. So for his sake, they could only swallow this rage. The atmosphere at the dining table finally returned to normal, except everyone lost their appetite. Of course, this didn't include the MC. He ate with absolute relish, even eating one small bowl more than usual. Millet porridge cooked thick and paired with pickled vegetables was truly light yet highly stimulating to the taste buds. Seeing him like this, old Madam Chen and Zhong Huilan only felt like a fire was furiously burning in their chests. The next day, right after the eldest uncle's family and old Madam Chen left, the MC immediately urged Chen Yu to invite Qida over as a guest. Qida originally wanted to reject him, but thinking about the incident at the shopping mall, he braced himself to come to the Chen family mansion as agreed. Liu Ru was very welcoming and told Chen Yu to entertain the guest, while the MC didn't show up until much later. The moment he saw the MC, Qida, who already had a guilty conscience, instantly became tense. He was still thinking, how can I avoid the Chen family members? To talk to him for a bit. But the MC didn't play by the rules at all. He faced toward Chen Jiang, who was sitting in the living room, and Chen Yu jerking his chin. You guys, beat it for a second. I have something to discuss with this guy for a moment. Chen Yu's expression changed completely. Qida was his best friend, yet now the MC was telling his best friend's company to beat it. Chen, fan, what do you want to do? If Qida did something to offend you, just say it, clearly. You can't invite someone over to the house and then bully them like this. The MC glanced at Chen Jiang with utter disdain. If you're so free, with nothing to do, use that brain on your neck more often. That thing didn't grow out just for display, and it's definitely not to help you look a bit taller. Out of the 4 Chen siblings, the other 3 look pretty smart and sharp. Why is this one so built different? Chen Jiang was so angry he was speechless. He opened his mouth to say something more, but the MC raised his voice and called out, "Mom!" Chen Jiang shuddered, and by reflex, shut his mouth tight. Hearing her son calling her, Liu Ru hurriedly walked out. Xiaofan, what's wrong? I want to take Chen Yu's friend out to the backyard for a walk. Is that okay, Mom? Liu Ru didn't find it strange at all. On the contrary, she smiled and said, Go ahead, sweetie, but the sun is blazing right now. Don't get sunburnt, okay? Chen Yu hurriedly chimed in. I'll go along too. He truly couldn't rest easy, always feeling that having Qida over as a guest had an underlying motive. The MC didn't show any courtesy, directly refusing no need. We'll be back in just a moment. You stay here and keep her company. His gaze swept over to Chen Jiang with pure sarcasm. She literally stayed home today specifically to keep watch, in case someone bullies you. After saying that, he turned and walked straight away, not even worried that Qida wouldn't follow. Chen Jiang's face was full of awkwardness, but in his heart he found this biological younger brother to be truly scheming. Look at the words he just said. Wasn't he literally snitching? The mom subtly hinting that she stayed home because she suspected he'd bully. Xiao Yu, what a calculated guy. What did you look for? Me for Qida looked at him with eyes full of wariness. After asking, he didn't even wait for the MC to answer, hurriedly continuing, I don't know what you're trying to do. That day in the restroom. At the mall, I didn't even offend you. Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's just because I gave you a glare. The MC cut him off, you and the guy who fell from the building at the mall that day. What's the relationship? Before he fell, did you guys interact, or should I say? The MC slowly turned his body around, tilting his head slightly, his clear eyes looking as if they could pierce through everything. Did you actually push him off the building? No, don't talk nonsense. Qida's expression changed dramatically, his voice turning defensive as he denied it, but the depths of his eyes couldn't help but leak a trace of fear and panic. Whether I'm talking nonsense or not, you know best. He didn't fall on his own. He was murdered. What do you say if I go report this to the police and tell them what I saw? Qida's face instantly darkened. Trying to play it cool was completely useless. You don't have any evidence. With just your words, other people won't believe you. This single sentence of his had already leaked crucial information. The MC shrugged, spreading his hands out. Why would I need evidence? I just need to put it out there, and naturally someone will go look for evidence. It's just that I wonder if young Master Qi gets dragged into this, will your reputation be affected? Will the Qi family be affected? Are you threatening me? Don't think just because you're the young master of the Chen family that I'll be afraid of you. Compared to Brother Yu, what do you even count as? Do you think coming back to the Chen family means you can actually replace Brother Yu? Keep dreaming. Brother Yu has lived in the Chen family for over a decade. The bond between him and the Chen family members is something you simply can't compare to. The MC looked at him curiously. Why on earth would I compare myself to Chen Yu? He's an adopted son, and I'm the biological son. I'm the biological child, yet I'd go try to replace an adopted child. Is something wrong with my brain? Plus, let me correct you on one thing. I'm not threatening. I'm reminding you. If you don't want others to know, don't do it in the first place. That's a literal human life right there. Do you think just because the case is currently closed, everything is completely fine? Now keep dreaming. The MC finished speaking meaningfully, then turned and walked away. Wanting to question him directly was merely to save time. Even if he didn't talk, once the grievance of that young man who fell grew large enough, his own identity would naturally cause that young man to come knocking on his door for help anyway. However, didn't care about his words at all. Chen Yu wanted to ask and find out what exactly the MC had said to Chi-Da, seeing that he had stormed off in a fury. Did he actually bully the guy? But with that expression of the MC, he felt that if he asked, the MC would only give him a blunt, cold shoulder. The MC was still calculating how long it would take for this matter to blow up. Unexpectedly, the speed was fast beyond imagination. But after seeing the matter going viral on the internet, he felt it was only natural. He glued his eyes to the TV every day, so he had learned quite a lot. In today's society, everything moves fast. Once an incident is posted online, it is even more effective than any other form of publicity. When he saw this matter on the internet, he thought for a moment and felt that this was indeed the fastest way. Perhaps because they had met at the shopping mall that day and had also met. When Liu Ru saw this news being broadcasted, she couldn't help but sigh. Originally, I thought it really was just a pure falling accident. I didn't expect that now something like this would arise. If it's really like what his parents said, then it's truly too tragic. That young man who fell at the mall that day was only 25 years old. He was so young, and I heard he was an only child too. To die just like that? No wonder his parents couldn't accept it and insisted on making a big deal out of this. What if he were your son? He suddenly raised his head, his sharp tone directly hitting back. Xiaofan, what nonsense are you talking about? Even if you're unhappy with me, you can't just speak carelessly like that. Liu Ru was first stunned by her son's words, and immediately after she was startled by Chen Yu's sharp voice. Xiao Yu, do you know this poor young man? Could he be your classmate? It wasn't impossible for someone in the house to know about it. Although Xiao Yu studied at a private high school with expensive tuition, every year the school would recruit additional students with excellent academic achievements. These types of students usually had average family backgrounds and couldn't afford the hefty tuition, but they had outstanding grades. Who knows, maybe this deceased person was a relative of some classmate of Xiao Yu's. Chen Yu's face turned a bit paler. If you don't have ghosts in your heart, then what's there that can't be? Said, I think you and that young Master Chi are both very strange. Whenever this matter is brought up, you always dodge and avoid it with a guilty face. You might as well write directly on your face that this matter is related to you guys. You've seen the news too. Now the matter has blown up into a major issue. An investigation will easily uncover everything clearly. Why not speak up early to clear the air so we can figure out a way to solve it? Liu Ru originally didn't believe it, but now seeing Chen Yu's expression, her heart suddenly skipped a beat. Shall you tell Mom? Did you really not? Chen Yu panicked. What kind of person am I? Xiaofan might not know, but don't tell me you don't know Mom. I'm the son you raised. For over a decade, seeing him put on that wronged look again, the MC just wanted to roll his eyes. All right, stop acting. This is a literal guilty conscience exposing itself. If you didn't do it, it's definitely related to you. You! Just wait and see how long Chen Yu and Chi-Da can hold out. He stood up and walked upstairs. Xiao Yu's face turned red and white, alternately, looking completely unwell. Finally, his tears streamed down. Mom, you saw it too. Ever since Xiaofan came back, I feel like I've been yielding in every possible way because I know I don't have the right to compete with him. Or should I compete with him? I also want to live harmoniously with him and together show filial piety to you and Dad. But he basically always finds me an eyesore. No matter what I do, he calls me out. Today, Chi-Da left in a fury and I don't even know what he did to him. Mom, please tell me. What exactly am I supposed to do? If not, I'll just move out. Although I'm still a minor right now, I think I can support myself. Mom and Dad raising me for all these years is already a massive favor to me. I shouldn't ask for anything more. Chen Yu seemed to want to vent all the fear, anxiety, grievance, and dissatisfaction accumulated in his heart over the past few days. He covered his face while crying bitterly. Seeing this, Liu Ru couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. The palm of the hand or the back of the hand, both are flesh. Xiaofan was her biological son, so she naturally loved him. But Xiao Yu had been by her side for over a decade. He wasn't biological, but he was no different from a biological child. She wasn't that muddle-headed either, to the point of genuinely expecting Xiao Fan and Xiao Yu to love each other like real brothers. As long as they minded their own business, that would be fine. Besides, Xiao Fan had already said he didn't mind them keeping Xiao Yu around. However, that mouth of Xiao Fan's was truly, this child spoke way too bluntly, not knowing how to be tactful at all. At home, family members could certainly tolerate him, but what about when he's outside? The more she thought, the more Liu Ru's thoughts went astray. Chen Yu cried and complained for a while, but he didn't hear any words of comfort for the longest time. He sobbed and peaked up, becoming even more angry and aggrieved. Mom was actually spacing out at a time like this. This time he was truly heartbroken. The MC returned to his room and instantly noticed something unusual. With a wave of his hand, he set up a barrier. "Come out!" A moment later, a shivering silhouette flew out. The moment his gaze swept over, that silhouette immediately shrank into the corner of the wall. "You're already a ghost yet. Your courage is still so tiny. No wonder you got bullied by those punks." Then he developed a deep suspicion. For someone so cowardly and even timid, becoming a ghost didn't make him any better. What could he possibly achieve? And to say his grievance had triggered the karmic alignment, the MC expressed deep skepticism. "How did you find this place? If you don't talk, I'll kick you out." The flickering silhouette was scared out of his wits and hurriedly said, "I'm Zhang Yuanshan. A few days ago, I fell from the shopping mall and died." Speaking up to this point, his voice sank. It had taken him many days to accept the reality that he was dead. He couldn't believe it, yet he was forced to accept it. That day when he fell from the shopping mall, he already knew for sure he couldn't survive. Even if he didn't die, he would probably be severely injured in the hospital, and his family certainly couldn't shoulder those massive medical expenses. In that case, it was better to just die. For a brief moment, even he didn't know whether he should feel lucky or resentful. So what? What do you want to do? Seek revenge. Zhang Yuanshan froze for a moment. Revenge? Can I still seek revenge? If you're not seeking revenge, then what did you look for me for? Since you're not seeking revenge, what are you looking for me for? If you didn't want revenge, you wouldn't still be lingering in the mortal realm. I couldn't bear to leave my parents behind, but you must have seen my parents' situation too. I'm their only son. Now that I've died like this, they won't let it rest. It looks like they are willing to push this to a life-and-death struggle. Zhang Yuanshan fell silent for a long time before softly muttering, "They are no match for those people." Listening closely, his voice was even trembling slightly. The MC seemed to realize something. It wasn't that Zhang Yuanshan didn't harbor resentment or want revenge, but rather he had been bullied for too long. The trauma those people inflicted on him had been deeply carved into his very soul. Even though he had currently become a ghost, normally speaking, people are afraid of ghosts, yet he was something else, actually being afraid of humans. This also reflected, from another perspective, that he must have once deeply experienced the oppression brought by power and status. "Can you help me? I know you're not like ordinary people. You can definitely help me, right?" Zhang Yuanshan suddenly raised his head, looking at the MC with pleading eyes. He didn't know what kind of person the guy in front of him actually was, or why he could see him. But since he could see him and didn't panic at all, he must be very special. Furthermore, he felt that in the midst of the unknown, something was guiding him to find this guy. Therefore, he must be able to help him, right? The MC gave a faint smile. "How do you want me to help you?" This single question from the MC left Zhang Yuanshan stunned. That's right, how should he be helped? He himself didn't seem to have any idea. Then how could he beg someone else for help? He was dead. Didn't he harbor hatred? He naturally did. He didn't just accidentally slip and fall from the building. He was intentionally pushed off the building by someone. The building wasn't tall, only 5 stories, but he was shoved over the rooftop, railing by them. During the fall, aside from endless horror and despair, there was also deep resentment. Why did they treat him like that? He had only been unable to stand those rich young masters, using their backgrounds to bully others. Out of a sense of justice and responsibility, he had stood up to stop and scold those wrongdoers. Why did he have to suffer such an unjust death? He worked at a milk tea shop. Their shop's milk tea was very delicious, frequently visited by customers, and very popular. During that time, those rich young masters often came to get drinks. After they came many times, he remembered their faces. Later, these people started causing trouble in the shop. He tried to persuade them several times, but those young masters simply wouldn't listen, and even turned around to verbally abuse and threaten him. He was truly driven, mad with anger. Seeing the victim being bullied was too pitiful, so he intentionally claimed that the shop's security footage was still recording them, saying that if they continued, he would post it online. Only after hearing this did those guys start to back off, no longer bullying others. He thought this was just a minor incident in his life, but he never in a million years expected that just because he righteously helped that bullied guy, he would bring disaster upon himself from those little demons. From that day on, his nightmare began. They intentionally made things difficult for him in the shop, abusing their customer status to cause him endless trouble, and even hired thugs from the streets to stalk and terrorize him, robbing him of his belongings. He was scared out of his wits and wanted to resign to get away from them. But they threatened the boss not to let him quit, saying that if the boss accepted his resignation, they would make it impossible for the shop to keep operating. They even dug up his home address, deliberately causing trouble to terrify his parents, and threw rocks at his window in the middle of the night. The electric scooter he rode to work was also frequently deflated, its tires punctured and the keyhole jammed with glue. The harassment was endless. He had thought about calling the police, but thinking about it, what could the police even do to these people who thought they were above the law? He truly had no other choice. He thought that if he just endured it a bit until they got bored, everything would be fine. But he didn't expect them to actually kill him, only for it to be dismissed afterward as an accidental fall. The shopping mall had so many cameras, so how could it be deemed an accidental fall? Clearly someone else pushed him off the building. Yet after they killed him, they used their power to wipe out the evidence. It's fair to say those people all knew he was pushed down by someone, but just because he was an ordinary citizen, the truth was buried and ignored. Recalling these matters, the originally timid-looking Zhang Yuanshan suddenly had his grievance spike and the air in the room vibrated. The windows were closed, yet the curtains stirred, and the tassels on the lamp began to sway and rustle. I want them to experience this feeling too. I want them to get their proper retribution. The MC rested his chin on his hand. Proper retribution, sending them to prison. That's not difficult. The resentment in Zhang Yuanshan's heart seemed to have been triggered and unleashed, completely transforming his previous quiet and timid demeanor into something cold and cruel. His ordinary face also distorted slightly. Prison. Their families won't let them go to prison. And even if they are sentenced, they won't stay locked up for long. My literal human life is only worth a few years. Prison time for them is my life that cheap? He refused to accept it. It had to be a life for a life. What do you think? The MC spoke nonchalantly, as if this matter was the simplest thing ever, leaving Zhang Yuanshan stunned. The billowing grievance around his body also seemed to freeze. If it can be like that, then of course it's for the best. But can you actually do it? He tentatively asked, probably not right. If it can be like that, of course it's for the best. So it has to be a life for a life. Otherwise, on what grounds does he get to die while the culprit who killed him acts like nothing happened, continuing to live their own life? Even if they go to prison, how long will they serve? Just a mere few years. Can that even be considered an atonement for his single human life? Yanbai pretended not to understand. Let me calculate it like this. He is dead, which means he is gone. Are the living, even the ones who took his life, actually more important than him? If so, how is he any different from someone who died in vain? He used to believe the law would bring him justice, but many times, justice doesn't really compensate for anything. The MC gave a faint smile. I, of course, can do it. A flash of astonishment crossed Zhang Yuanshan's eyes. Can you really help me get revenge? If I help you get revenge, can you leave this world in peace? Zhang Yuanshan nodded, then paused, his face full of loneliness and sorrow. I can let go of my resentment, but I can't let go of my parents. I'm their only child. The MC thought about it and said, your parents aren't too old. Perhaps they can have another child. Never in a million years did he expect to hear such words. Thinking about his parents' age, Zhang Yuanshan himself wasn't sure for a moment whether his parents could actually have another child. Although their family wasn't wealthy, they at least had enough food and clothes. His parents ran a breakfast diner. The shop wasn't big, and business wasn't considered amazing, but it was enough to keep a family of 3 from living too hard. It was just that staying up late and waking up early was incredibly exhausting. He had also thought about working to earn some extra money, but his parents' health always seemed pretty good, so temporarily there were no major issues. Thinking about it carefully, his parents indeed still had the ability to have another child. If that was really the case, then he could rest easy. Otherwise, he truly didn't dare to imagine how his parents would get by when he was gone. If he had insisted on staying home to help out in the beginning, instead of going out to work for others, perhaps things wouldn't have turned out this way. So when can you help me get revenge? What price do I need to pay? The MC's eyes flickered slightly, and then he gave a deeply meaningful smile, saying, you don't need to worry. I indeed won't help for free, but I also won't demand any compensation that you cannot afford. It's useless to talk about it now. Let's discuss it further after the matter is settled. The MC wasn't an ordinary person, so what he wanted was naturally nothing ordinary. Zhang Yuanshan nodded in agreement without any hesitation. Then just wait. This matter requires a proper timing. Zhang Yuanshan nodded, then paused for a moment as he remembered something. Anxiously intertwining his hands, he asked, Could you help me protect my parents? I'm from the Underworld, not a deity from the heavens. I manage the affairs of the dead, not the affairs of the living. Seeing the MC fall silent and say nothing, Zhang Yuanshan's eyes turned red. If it's not possible, then never mind. Seeing this pitiful state of his, the MC said, Rest assured your parents will probably be fine. Right now, this matter is making quite a big scene. If anything happens to his parents at this time, it will only make everything even more unsalvageable. Mom, I'm going out for a bit, the MC said to Liu Ru. Liu Ru was stunned for a moment. Going out? Where are you planning to go? Let Mom tell the driver to take you. No need, I can just hail cab myself. If he let the driver take him, how could he get any work done? But Shofan hasn't gone out alone once since returning home, and he isn't very familiar with High City either. What if he goes out by himself and gets lost? The MC seemed to see through her worry and said, Mom, it's fine, I know the way. Plus, once I get in the car, I just need to state the address directly. There's nothing to fear. That won't do either. There are many bad people outside right now. How about this? I'll have fourth sister go with you. Whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do it. You can even have fourth sister run errands for you. With that, she hurriedly called for someone, waking up Chen Zhang, who was still lazing around in bed. The moment Chen Zhang heard her mom out, she blew her top. I'm his older sister, not his lackey. If you're not worried about him, Mom, just tell the driver to follow him. Why must you force me to go with him? I'm not doing it. Then she gave the MC a glare. The MC glanced at her with a look of disdain. Do you think I like having you follow me? Mom was just worried, and absolutely insisted on making you tag along. Seeing him like that, Chen Zhang angrily pointed a finger at him. Liu Ru slapped her hand down with a smack. Even if you don't like it, you have to go. You're the one who said you're Xiaofan's older sister, right? Just going out with your younger brother to get some work done, yet you have so much mouth. What are you trying to do? Liu Ru's face darkened, her stern eyes locking onto her. Chen Zhang was intimidated by this gaze, and her momentum instantly deflated. The matter is decided then. Go eat breakfast quickly. Xiaofan is about to leave. With tears welling in her eyes from pure grievance, she went to pack her things. Where on earth do you want to go? Inside the car. Chen Zhang's face was completely black as she asked. Since there was free labor, why not use it? The MC nonchalantly commanded, Just drive forward, I'll give directions. This tone, this attitude, it was obvious she was being treated as a chauffeur. Chen Zhang was so angry her lungs were about to explode, but she had absolutely no way around it. Chen Zhang drove according to his directions, turning here a bit and there a bit. The places they drove to became more and more unfamiliar, and the roads became narrower and narrower. She herself was getting bewildered. Living in High City for so many years, how did she never know High City still had a place like this? Chen Jiang followed his words and parked the car outside an old run-down residential compound. Sitting in the driver's seat and observing the environment outside, an uneasy feeling welled up in her heart. All right, you wait for me here. The MC got out of the car and slammed the door shut, leaving behind a single sentence before walking away, giving Chen Zhang no opportunity to question him. Chen Zhang originally wanted to ask what exactly he planned to do and where he was going. Seeing this attitude really made one furious. In her anger, she simply ignored him completely. The MC smoothly walked into the compound his steps, not stopping as he walked straight toward one of the buildings. The old residential compound had no green landscaping. The exterior walls were mottled, and there wasn't even an elevator. The staircase also clearly showed signs of damage. He just walked up the stairs like that. Reaching the fourth floor, he shifted his steps toward the left. Faintly, the sound of crying could be heard. If he guessed correctly, it was from the Zhang family home. Standing in front of the Zhang family's door, the MC reached out his hand and knocked. He felt he should still find an opportunity to bring an assistant to his side sooner rather than later. He himself, a dignified young master, how did he end up having to do everything by himself? This doesn't fit the status of the young master of the city of the dead. The noise inside the house paused, then footsteps rang out. Very quickly, a tentative question came from behind the door. Who is it? I'm a friend of Zhang Yuanshan. The inside fell silent for a moment, and a short while later, a crack opened, and someone looked at him through the gap. Seeing that he was quite young, they felt a bit more at ease. Are you a colleague of Xiaoyuan's? The MC nodded. Only then did the person inside open the door to let him step inside. After entering the house, the MC didn't waste time on small talk directly, blurting out, I know Zhang Yuanshan was murdered. Zhang Yuanshan's parents weren't actually that old, but after the tragedy befell their son, they aged rapidly. Their once pitch-black hair was now mixed with many streaks of silver. The wrinkles on their faces had also deepened significantly, and their eyes were full of grief and misery, along with suppressed hatred. How do you know? How do you know Xiao Yuan was murdered? Do you know something? Hurry up and tell us! Do you really know something? Mother Zhang, who was originally listless, the moment she heard his words, seemed like she had just been injected with adrenaline, gripping his hand tightly. I can see. Zhang Yuanshan and I can also help the two of you. Father Zhang and Mother Zhang were stunned, not understanding the meaning behind his words. Their son was already dead. What did he mean by saying he could see their son? Although to find the truth they firmly refused cremation and left their son's body in the morgue. Could it be that this young man had personally run to the morgue? The couple couldn't help but hatch a ridiculous thought. I can see your son's soul, and I can help you fulfill your wish. After the MC finished speaking, Mother Zhang's crying paused. Looking at him through her tears, her face was filled with daze. Their wish was naturally to find the enemy who maliciously killed their son, and then make that culprit receive their deserved punishment. No, even that wouldn't be enough. If the punishment was just a few years in prison, it would forever be far from enough. How could a few years of prison time ever compare to Xiao Yuan's life? Whoever killed Xiao Yuan must pay with their life. Intense hatred surfaced in Mother Zhang's eyes. As long as it's what you two want, I can help. But you need to pay me a bit of compensation. The MC made it very clear. Aside from karmic merit, he needed to collect the 10 ultimate deep emotions of the mortal realm. The ultimate truth, ultimate kindness, ultimate benevolence, and ultimate righteousness. The gate of rebirth is the path leading souls to a new life. Life means the beginning of hope and joy. Death means the end of despair and sorrow. And life and death are a cycle of reincarnation. Within reincarnation, there is also plenty of selfishness, greed, hypocrisy, and malice. He needed to collect these things to cleanse the grievance of the city of the dead, keeping the grievance balanced within a reasonable range. After hearing his words, Mrs. Zhang didn't hesitate for a second, saying, "No matter what you want, as long as you can truly help us, I am willing to give you everything. Even if it takes my life, I can give it to you." The MC smiled and said, "It's not quite that serious." He took the details he learned from Zhang Yuanshan and recounted them all to the two of them, without hiding a single thing. After listening, the couple couldn't hold back and once again wailed bitterly. Seeing this, the MC only let out a soft sigh. Life and death separation is indeed the hardest thing for humans to accept in this world. Mrs. Zhang, crying and sobbing, suddenly fell to her knees on the floor, kowtowing heavily with a thud, speaking in a hoarse, bitter voice. "I want the culprit who killed Xiao Yuan to pay with his life. I want them, even if they die, to never die in peace." Extreme resentment enveloped her. Both Mrs. Zhang and Mr. Zhang were also consumed by endless torment and regret. Why didn't they realize sooner that something was off with their son? If they could have known a bit earlier that their son was being terrorized by a bunch of kids with all kinds of threats, they definitely would have helped him quit. They could have taken him to move and live somewhere else. Mr. Zhang tried his best to control himself, but tears still streamed down his face, covering his face with one hand. He couldn't hide his messy grief. "Me too. I want them to pay a fitting price." The MC told Mr. and Mrs. Zhang to wait for his news. Walking down from upstairs and looking through the car window, he saw Chen Jiang in the driver's seat had actually fallen asleep, even keeping her mouth wide open. One could see just how soundly she was sleeping. The corner of his mouth twitched. "If she's considered my sister like this, I'd pass." He originally intended to knock on the car door to wake her up, but paused halfway. He was currently worrying about how to separate from Chen Jiang anyway. Bringing her along everywhere wasn't convenient. Since she had fallen fast asleep, then just let her keep sleeping. With that, he turned and walked away, leaving Chen Jiang still snoring away in the car. The wish of Zhang Yuanshan's parents wasn't hard to fulfill. With his power, he could naturally eliminate the culprits who killed Zhang Yuanshan without a trace. But this didn't fit the deepest wish in the hearts of this family of 3. Therefore, right now, he still needed to expose those criminal deeds first. Thinking about the things Zhang Yuanshan encountered, even the MC couldn't help but let out a sigh. If this matter cannot have a good outcome, who would dare to do good deeds in the future? Talk about a moral decline. This society develops rapidly, but human nature hasn't kept pace with the economy or the advancement of science and technology to become any better. On the contrary, it has grown uglier. Perhaps it's because this materialist society has aroused the evil side of human nature. He recalled his own past. When he was the same age as these kids, he was already an adult who married and carried the weight of a family. His face became expressionless. Again, a trace of confusion surfacing. Before this, how long had it been since he reminisced about the past? It had been too long. He had completely forgotten. He wasn't the young master of the city of the dead right from the start. Vaguely, he could remember that before becoming the young master of the city of the dead, he was also just an extremely ordinary mortal. Only after dying did he enter the city of the dead. The time was way too distant now, and he had forgotten how he originally became the young master of the city of the dead. His thoughts flickered as his figure gradually vanished. He thought he would settle the matter very quickly, but unexpectedly it delayed him until late into the night. As his thoughts flashed by, his figure gradually vanished. It's no longer important now, but didn't expect it to drag on like this until late at night. When he got busy, he completely forgot about Chen Jiang. After finishing his work, he went straight back home. The moment he stepped into the door, he realized the atmosphere in the living room wasn't quite right. It was extremely tense. Before he could even say a word, Liu He rushed over and hugged him tightly, her voice filled with anxiety. "Xiao Fan, you're finally back. You scared me to death. I thought something happened to you, Mr. Chen." Seeing him clearly let out a sigh of relief, repeatedly saying, "It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back." He was also scared to death, thinking this son of his had run away on his own. The MC blinked, lagging a beat before realizing what was going on. Just as he was about to explain, Chen Jiang, who had been scolded all night and worried all day, fiercely roared at him, "Chen Fan, are you crazy? Or what? If you wanted to go somewhere, couldn't you have said something? Do you know we all thought something happened to you? Do you know we've been looking for you all day?" He was yelled at by her so hard that he shrunk his shoulders, feeling a bit guilty indeed. "Shut up." Liu Ru held the MC and turned to glare at her daughter. "You must have done something to make Xiao Fan unhappy. That's why he quietly left without a word. You always like to target Xiao Fan. How many times have I told you? Xiao Fan is your biological brother." Biological brother. Chen Jiang, driven mad by her mother's unreasonable words, was so angry she felt like she was about to ascend to heaven. "Mom, please be reasonable. For once today, I clearly didn't do anything wrong," Chen Jiang screamed. Seeing that the two were about to start a huge fight, the MC hurriedly said, "Mom, don't be angry. Listen to my explanation. Today really has nothing to do with Sister Chen Jiang. She indeed didn't do anything, and didn't even argue with me at all. Then why did you leave her behind and go by yourself? You haven't been here for long, and you're not familiar enough with this city. Without someone accompanying you, it's very easy to get lost. More importantly, Xiao Fan doesn't really know how to use electronic devices. If he gets lost, he won't even know how to use phone navigation." The MC honestly replied, "Earlier I went to take care of some business and left Sister Chen Jiang to wait for me in the car. When I finished and came down, I saw her sleeping in the car. I thought it was probably because she woke up too early today and didn't get enough sleep. So I wanted to let her sleep a bit more." This explanation. It would have been better if you hadn't said it at all. Did he do that on purpose? The MC didn't even care about her fierce glare, continuing to speak honestly. "After that, I just left. But I originally thought I would return right after finishing up, thinking that by the time I came back, she might not even be awake yet. Unexpectedly, the time exceeded my expectations and dragged on until now." The MC didn't really want Chen Jiang to get scolded. Honestly, he also didn't expect things would turn out like this. "Then why did you keep ignoring your phone?" Chen Jiang continued to question him. The MC reached into his pocket, rummaged around, and pulled out a phone. Looking it over, his face was full of confusion. "I didn't hear the phone. Ring." This phone was bought for him by Liu Ru after his return. Today, before he left the house, she even reminded him, but he really didn't hear the phone ring. Chen Jiang snatched his phone away, turned on the screen to look, and laughed out of pure anger. Shoving the phone in front of his face, she gnashed her teeth. "Are you blind? Your phone is on silent mode?" The MC looked at the phone, blinking innocently. "I really didn't know how to look. I've never used this before. So how would I know this phone could even be adjusted to make no sound?" Chen Jiang wanted to keep giving him a hard time, but Liu Ru raised her finger and gave Chen Jiang's forehead a hard flick. It hurt so much that she clutched the spot, crying out to the heavens. If you hadn't fallen asleep in the car, would he have gone to do the work by himself, just because he didn't want to wake you up? No, so. In the end, it's all your fault. I told you to go help, but look at you sleeping like a pig in the car. Your pocket money for this month is cut, Liu Ru declared. "What cutting my pocket money? This month has only been going on for 3 days. After saying that, Liu Ru looked at the other kids and warned them, "Whoever dares to secretly supply her this month, Mom will cut theirs next month too." As for Chen Huang, she glanced at her eldest daughter. If you dare to give money to Chen, Zhang Mom will immediately arrange a blind date for you. Chen Huang's expression changed, and she hurriedly said seriously, Mom, rest assured I will even monitor the others to make sure they don't supply fourth sister. Eldest sister Chen Zhang wailed bitterly. Chen Huang helplessly, yet compassionately gave her a look. Fourth sister, don't blame your eldest sister for being ruthless. Better a fellow Taoist dies than this poor Taoist. This poor Taoist passes, fourth sister. Where did you and Xiao Fan go today? Earlier downstairs, Chen Wu didn't dare to cross Liu Ru, but after everyone went upstairs back to their rooms, she quietly sneaked out to find Chen Jiang. After comforting Chen Jiang for a while, she curiously asked about the MC. Mentioning him filled Chen Jiang with a fiery rage. This biological younger brother was truly born to ruin her. He was definitely here to collect a debt. But facing Chen Wu, she still patiently recounted the places he had gone. But where he went after that, and what he did, I don't know. Hearing this, Chen Wu knitted her brows. She didn't know what kind of place that was either. After all, for people like them, the places they usually frequented were high-end venues. A place like that slum was somewhere they naturally wouldn't visit, let alone look into. She furrowed her brows and pondered for a while, but still couldn't figure anything out, so she had to drop it. It was just that after returning to her room, for some reason she couldn't let this matter go. Just then, Qida called to chat. She recalled her close friend visiting the Chen family earlier, so she couldn't help but mumble a few words to her friend. Unexpectedly, after Qida heard it, he grew anxious on the other end of the line, hastily saying, did he go to Zhang Yuanshan's house? Hearing the name Zhang Yuanshan made Chen Wu freeze in shock. Chen Wu held the phone, her hand tightening. He went to Zhang Yuanshan's house. What for? He doesn't even know Zhang Yuanshan. Qida gnashed his teeth. With no other choice, he had to reveal the matter regarding Zhang Yuanshan, the things that happened on that day. Hearing this, Chen Wu gasped, her hands and feet turning a bit weak. Both his arms and legs felt a bit weak. He didn't expect that on the day Zhang Yuanshan met with the accident, Qida would actually be there too. Qida, did you... Chen Wu felt her throat tighten a bit. After asking this, her heart continuously leaped into her throat, and her mind already started racing at high speed. If he was truly involved in this matter, what should she do then? When Zhang Yuanshan met with the accident, although he wasn't present, right now the fact that he was bullied by a few students had been exposed by his parents, if there was an investigation. But very quickly after that, he calmed down, again continuously comforting himself in his heart. He originally hadn't bullied Zhang Yuanshan at all. At most it was just... Chen Wu quickly recalled the things he had done to see if he had actually left any obvious loopholes behind, or if there was any weakness for people to leverage against him. Wuga, are you listening to me? Qida spoke for a long time without getting a response. The person on the other end called out with a strange tone. Chen Wu snapped back to reality, suppressed his emotions, and said, I'm listening. Qida, how do you plan to handle this matter? Zhang Yuanshan's parents don't seem to intend to. Just let it go like this, if they... He quickly interrupted. Nothing is going to happen, whether it's the school or our parents. None of them would want this matter to blow up. In the end, at most, they'll drag a few people out to properly take the blame, apologize to them, and compensate. A bit of money to finish it off. Furthermore, at the end of the day, it was all done by those college students. The few of us didn't do anything at all. Don't just mention everyone's parents. Even the school needs to save face. But Chen Wu slightly knitted, her brows always feeling like things weren't that simple. As for the surveillance, cameras at the mall, Qida wasn't worried. He had already had someone completely wipe them early on. No one would be able to trace it. His dad had a pretty good relationship with the owner of the mall. Deleting surveillance footage was just a matter of a single phone call. Even without this relationship, he believed no one would go and offend them just for the sake of Zhang Yuanshan's parents. But Wu Ge, right now I'm only worried about whether Chen Fan knows something. That day I ran into him in the restroom all panicked and flustered. The way his eyes looked at me, and also that day he invited me to your house. The words he said, he seemed to have already confirmed something. This was the main reason making Qida mentally uneasy these past few days. Even when facing Chen, Qida didn't dare to say too much. As soon as Qida said that, Chen Wu couldn't help but recall that night when watching the news the words the MC had said to him. Her small face instantly turned pale. Perhaps the MC really had seen it. Who was it that pushed Zhang Yuanshan off the building? Even if he didn't really see clearly who it was, he definitely must have seen them bullying Zhang Yuanshan. If he let this matter out? Just thinking about that consequence made Chen Wu unable to sit still. He forced himself to calm down, remembering that Chen Fan very likely really did see something. That day he even asked me if I if I participated in Zhang Yuanshan's matter. But he doesn't seem to have mentioned anything to my parents yet. Hurry up and think of a way to report this to the others. Tell them to pray for themselves. What Chen Wu said made Qi A panic even more, hastily ending the call and turning around to immediately call the group of friends he usually hung out with. Chen Wu bit her teeth hard, recalling the things from before, and couldn't help but feel a bit of regret. If Zhang Yuanshan wanted to help that pathetic loser, then just let him help. He could help for a moment, but not for a lifetime. Why did they absolutely have to cross a guy from society like Zhang Yuanshan for? At that time, he only felt that the posture, when Zhang Yuanshan stood up for him, that attitude was too much of an eyesore. It was as if he was a righteous person, while they were the villains. That was why he said a few words to instigate the other students. Originally, he only wanted to give Zhang Yuanshan a lesson so that he wouldn't mind other people's business in the future anymore, but he truly didn't expect that things would actually develop to such an extent today. The more he thought, the more he couldn't help but secretly blame those guys. He told them to just retaliate a little bit, yet they were really something, actually going so far as to get addicted to it, persistently hounding Zhang Yuanshan and never letting go. Wasn't it just picking on a soft persimmon? Well, great. Now they completely crushed the persimmon. Why didn't he just fall and die on his own to get it over with? And there was Zhang Yuanshan too. In the beginning, if he hadn't said he recorded a video and intended to expose them, he wouldn't have momentarily. Chen Wu began to weigh the MC's situation, feeling that the MC very likely had seen what happened at the shopping mall, but it was impossible for him to know the entire story from beginning to end. You don't even know how to use a phone. So what could you possibly know? The wishful thinking was beautiful, but reality was brutal. The next day, the internet was flooded with news related to this incident. What made him panic and fear even more was that those surveillance video clips that were supposed to have been deleted long ago were actually all leaked out together. His mind felt as if it was driven to madness, constantly filled with fear, and his mental state became unstable. All the evidence was stacked against him. That was also the price he had to pay for the actions he committed. That is also the price he has to pay for what he did.